Hello, we're looking at the Notes app on your iPad today. Our goal is to develop an awareness of the potential of this app in an educational setting, be that you developing a class lesson, reflection points for pupils or yourself during that lesson, or in an approach to observations where you might be gathering a set of evidence as you go through a class or around the school, or finally in actually putting a set of notes down for a CPD session or general minutes. Would love you to be able to, at the end of this, take away two to three techniques demonstrated in this session and identify one way you would use this Notes app in your practice. And if you can, in the next week, set yourself a goal to actually practice it yourself. The first one is a very friendly one, bullet points for success criteria. Now these are interactive and allow you to see, or pupils to see, whether or not they've completed a success criteria. It's very easy, it's the little tick box next to the camera here. If I tick it off, tap the tick, it removes it. If I tap a tick, it will add it to the text that I've typed up. And that could be a useful tool because once I've completed it, I can see that I'm now making progress towards my learning intention or my activity by ticking off some of the skills that we're covering today. The other one is the handwriting tool. Now this is going to be this is going to be done through the Apple Pencil tool or similar. If I go to the A on the pencil, I can actually write this down. So handwriting to text tool is a very cool feature. As it corrects errors. As you can see there. And that will be useful for someone who's got dyslexia or isn't a fan of actually writing because they're concerned with the errors that they might make. It will correct them as they go. You can also insert videos, so that might be a really good approach. So if you've been able to record something, you can actually reflect on that later. You don't have to disengage from the task. You can record that live and really engage in what the activity is. So when I was doing that, I was just recording some of the lesson and learning, and I didn't have to worry too much about jotting notes while I saw that. And I can add that into my document here. And I can watch that back for reflection to add some of the notes of what I was watching in the learning around programming in this activity. And I can listen to the commentary that might have been useful. So now I can do a little bit of reflection after I've done the video. Very interesting learning happening. And I might want to highlight that for myself to look at later. If I pause, it will make that a regular shape for me, which would be a very useful tool for me if I was teaching regular shapes in maths. So I just pause at the end of the shape and it will generate a key shape for me. So I now know that I can insert regular images and I have hand-drawn apps. What I'd like to do just now is I'd like you to pause the video and go away and try at least 2 of those 4 tasks. Now you're back. Let's have a little bit look at more ways of adding images and videos or tables into our task. So let's look at scanned PDF documents. So here I want to insert a scanned PDF document that I can analyze or my pupils are to use in their lesson today. So I'm just going to take a photo. But I'm not going to go take a photo, I'm actually scanning a document, hover over the document I've been looking at in particular. Once I'm happy with it, the yellow part will be highlighted, but I can change and edit that slightly if I want to. I can keep that scan and I can save it, or I can scan another page to add to that document. Save. And what I now have in my task is a scanned document that if I tap on it and tap again with my pencil, I can now edit and highlight some key examples that we can use to help our learners or colleagues feel more confident using the iPads. I then can move on and I can look back at my success criteria or my notes of things that I have to try and demo to you. So it's a way of me referencing back to the things that I'm going through. Inserting a table. So what I would like to do here is I just click on where I want the table to go, and I can add that by clicking on the little table button above delete on the right. I'm just going to write in that just now myself, rather than using the pencil tool, the text tool. I'm going to actually write into this because I want to take this note on the fly. So how many notes do I have? I have about 150. And I saw learning today in 3 classes that I went into. Okay. Now if I'm not happy with where it's been positioned, I can obviously change that by using the undo button at the top. And I can then actually reference that later in a nice neat format that I could copy into a Word document. Highlighting moving text. Well, what happens if I don't want my annoying text to be in this order? Step 1 or step 2, step 1. I don't want that in that order. Why did I do that? I need to change those positions. So if I want to, I can go to my pencil tool, the one next to the ruler. I can then highlight step 2 and I can drag it to the right, which allows me to reorientate my notes and actually allows me to use this as an interactive tool. If I was using this as a way of reordering what a process was, I could use that in a classroom setting to demonstrate an aid discussion of a process quite easily and effectively, in the way that I wouldn't be able to do that with a whiteboard. So if I'm thinking about that, that's me augmenting a standard whiteboard now. And the final one is copying handwritten notes into a document. Now that's one of the biggest pains that I always found was when you're writing up minutes. Hello, this is great for learning using handwriting because it's great for recall. But it's not great for sharing. It's nicer to share what you've reviewed in text format because it's much more clear and shows that you've taken time to consider pupils. So now if I highlight that, I get the yellow text. If I tap on it again, I can copy as text and I can paste that into another document that I might have. So here, I might want to add the little paste here and it will paste it below. And you can see I'm saying, remember to write up your minutes from your notes. I don't need to do that anymore because I can do that automatically by using the the write up tool if I've written it in the notes jotter. So now you've seen a number of different tools. You've had a go at demonstrating a couple of them. Have a go at demonstrating another couple more. And think at the end of this session about how you might want to use Notes app in your practice, and give it a go as you in this week, and reflect at the end of it on what's effective. The final thing to remember is if you ever complete a task like this in Notes, the three dots at the top, share note or send a copy. Using the airdrop tool in Classroom, you could deliver that to your entire class via airdrop or one individual using the airdrop tool.